listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumping where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, Big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the refs just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever.
Yeah, we talked about it at halftime. Coming out being the aggressors in the third quarter, we knew that they were going to make some adjustments, and we just didn't do enough in that quarter to make sure that we weathered the storm with that first quick run that they had. So I had to take a timeout and get going from there. But it's 3 quarters of really good basketball. Just got to correct the third quarters.
And DQ, 38 minutes, kind of stepping in, especially. Losing Eve at one point, so kind of shortens that rotation just a little bit. But which is a good job DQ did.
He did a really good job, and he's been doing a really good job. He's impressive. He touches the floor, and the game changes immediately. He'll make some mistakes, but he's aggressive. He's a good passer. He's normally in the right spots defensively, so he's given us a lot.
And with the third quarter, it's been kind of a constant thing, though. Is there anything you can put your finger on why it keeps happening over and over?
Not yet. I think that's what we're continuously looking at is how can we get off to a better start in the third quarter when teams make an adjustment.
And how tough is it just, year after year, your calling card has always been one to really, solidify the defense and besides that and just the struggles that you guys have had on the defensive end this year, how tough is that, man?
Yeah, it's extremely tough. But that's a part of it. We have to continue to work to figure it out, starting with me, and continue to challenge this group to get better and better defensively. I thought we did some good things, but they're a tough team, and you got to play really well to beat them.
And when you're playing young guys, as many minutes as you got to go through those ups and downs.
Yeah.
What are you kind of saying to them during those moments when the offense really stagnates or they're having some bad turnovers, just trying to just get them, over the hump?
It's a part of the maturation process for young players. In order for them to continue to grow and get better and learn, they have to go through these experiences. Unfortunately, there's games where it doesn't always go their way, but it works out for them in the long run, big picture wise. But I thought, look, we played 3 rookies tonight, and those guys, they're aggressive. They can handle the pressure. They get on the floor. They play well. And we just continue to play through some of those mistakes. But at least I like that they're being aggressive.
It was a big night from Sidney tonight. Just what has he brought to this team this season?
He brings a steady poise to our group. Night in and night out, you can depend that he is at some point he's going to come up big for you. Even tonight, tough loss, but he was solid for us. Hit big shots. He gets to the basket, gets to the free throw line, and he makes simple plays over and over.
When you sit out a full season of not playing basketball to come back into this environment, just how tough is it to sometimes find your rhythm?
I think it's impressive what he's doing thus far. Position, there's triumph. There's also trials that you have to go through. And as we continue to go through it, my response.
Shout out to the fam. Thank y'all for being in this episode of PPR Final. As the bell tolls for Willie the Nose Green, because he knows his time draws closer. We're going to cover some stuff. Shout out to y'all for being in the stream, man. I know it's a daunting task to watch these games, man, as the Pelicans fall to 2-10. 1-4 on the year. I mean, 1-4 at home, 2-10 on the year. It's just another thing. Very tough, man. Very tough to be a Pale faithful during this time frame. Pain. That is the correct term. Shout out to Trey. Much love, fam. Walter, Young City 9. Big ups to the fam, man. We appreciate y'all, man, for being in the stream on this one. Y'all hit that like button. This is very difficult to deal with. As usual with our Pale team, man. This is very interesting. But listen, we're going to recap the game. We're going to also go over the article and some of the things that Gayle said. I'm going to do a full show on that tomorrow. I had one I did as soon as the article released minutes later, but it was kind of it had a lot of static in it, whatnot. I was on the road. So I'm gonna kind of redo it again for you guys live. I'm gonna go over that live full article from Gayle Benson, Sports Coma style. But in this one, man, shout out to y'all for being in the stream. What's up, Jaden? Shout out to you. Good to see all y'all in the building. As usual, Triple D Pilot, shout out to you. Much love, the Queen. Jedi Connor, what's up, bro? Slim, big ups to you. Young City 9. Jay Carv is in the building as well. Trey, everybody, man. Amal, I see you. Squallow, shout out to you, brother. Good to see all y'all in the building as usual, man. What's up, Walter? All right, so anyway, DC, welcome on in, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I think we one step closer to the ultimate goal, bro. After hearing Willie Green speak, it brings me some form of joy to understand that this man got up here and talked about the third quarters. We just need to figure out the third quarters when we lost the first quarter by 10 points. But we played 3 quarters of good basketball. I'm like, what fucking game was he watching? Just because Trey almost hit a last second shot in the first quarter that made it good basketball. Like, dude
just be saying anything, bro.
I think the pressure is finally breaking him, man. I think he's really like losing his mind. He usually, maybe it's just a combination of delusion because he just constantly says the same shit pretty much after every game. So it might all be running together on him, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, DC, you ain't lying, man. I think Willie Green's just saying anything, man. Obviously, he does not have any answers. This is a complete joke of an organization, in my opinion. The NBA is a success-driven league, and the reason why Willie is not fired is because of the ownership, not Joe Dumars. I don't think it's Joe Dumars or Troy Weaver. I think they have the balls to fire the guy if they have the power to. I think there's a history here, and we know who it is. It's Gayle Benson. She's meddling in the affair. She even lies in this article about not meddling with the team when she meddles in the team with the Pelicans. She don't do it with the Saints. She did it when we forced her to fire Dennis Allen because the money was going down. But in terms of the Pelicans, she meddles with the Pelicans all the time. I don't know why she feels like has the power to do that, but she meddled with the Pelicans when she got rid of Dale Demps and hired David Griffin and made him keep Elvin Gentry that first year under Griffin's tenure. She did the exact same thing to Joe Dumars this time around, and not understanding that you are handicapping a team and not understanding I'm doing all I could do. No, you're not doing what you can do. You are actually in the way. So it's hard to get a person like that to understand that you're screwing up. And that's why people are upset. You don't know what you're doing. Get out of the way and let Joe Dumars get rid of Willie Green and put somebody here in the interim capacity who could salvage the season. We'll go over a piece of that article. And it's just, she doesn't know, man. She just doesn't know. And she thinks she's doing something to help. And you can't really tell her nothing. This woman got the team, inherited the team because a man died and he left it to her. And he put all these people in place to help her with the transition. But that's been since 2018, fam. She's been owning the team. Gayle Benson has been running the Pelicans since 2018 because that's when Tom Benson closed his eyes. And you would hope transition to a higher life based on his deeds on this world. But outside of that, the Pelicans have been 292 to 355 during the same time frame since she done took over the team. You know, so it's just one of these situations where you look at it and you're just like, wow, man. You know, what's the problem? The problem is the leadership. It's always been a leadership. It's not the fact that she's spending the money. She is meddling in situations that, and like I said, it presented itself this year. We talked about this for the last couple of years. That's why the team is a joke. That's why they're a laughing stock, because they don't know what they're doing. There's no demands or nothing until people get pissed off in the city. Then they want to move and shake their feet. And then talking about buildings and all. You're not going to get any new building down here, Gayle. You're not going to get it. People are not going to let you make money off of them with an inferior product. So it's not going to work. But DC, let's get into tonight's game, man. The debacle that was the 118-104 win by the Lakers. They improved to 9-4. They're 6-2 on the road. They took care of business against the Pelicans. Pels go down by 14 in the loss. They now fall to 2-10. There's another game on Sunday, the Golden State Warriors, and then it's a back-to-back game with the Golden State, then Denver on Monday. So this can get 2-12 quick. So let's get your breakdown on this matchup, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's just more of the same, bro. This tonight, actually, it was a little caveat because the whole season you can't really say the refs were as bad as they were tonight. The Pels didn't do anything to help themselves, though. They were very undisciplined. They were making a lot of mistakes and making it easy for the refs to give a lot of those calls to the Lakers, especially on Luka, with the way they decided to guard him. But the refereeing was atrocious. Like, there were several times when Jeremiah Fears went and attacked in the lane, man, he was just getting fouled and they weren't saying anything. You know, that's just, it's disheartening, and it's like it pisses you off because it's like the Pelicans already suck. Like, they don't need the refs to help the Lakers. They're probably gonna lose anyway. So it's like, damn, why they can't get that part of the game right, man? So it's one of those weird games with that. But you see the same old from the Pels, man. Guys didn't really have a good shooting night outside of Trey. Jeremiah played pretty good tonight. You know what I'm saying? Could have been better, but just, man, 8 steals, that's insane. You know, for a rookie. First rookie to do that, I think, since Michael Carter Williams. It was saying this hasn't happened since 2013. The brother had an 8 steal night, man. Looking like Baby AI out there or something, picking pockets. You know, so that was, you know, encouraging. And just the thing with Queen, man, if I'm correct, I don't think Queen came into the game until like 2 minutes left in the first quarter. And like, we down by like 8-10 points. Like, I just don't understand the big man rotation and what he's trying to do. You had Carlo out there. He gets a couple of points, you know, goes 2 for 2, and then we don't see him no more. And Looney logged 10 minutes and didn't really give you nothing, even though, you know, he was starter. He didn't get a lot of production out of Misi, and we all know why Misi's probably not starting or in the rotation heavily. He decided to like a tweet. And
10 minutes, DC.
It's just, I don't know.
Isn't that terrible?
Yeah, man. Willie don't know what he's doing. And then he got up there and they asked him.
They ain't got the nerve to be as dumb as he is, got the nerve to be petty.
Didn't he talk when they asked him about the rotations, talking about he's still figuring it out?
Let me hit the button for that one, DC. Yeah,
bro. Can you figure out anything? This dude, every time he talk about these third quarters, that's a big ass boulder on his back right now. Everybody talking about the third quarters these years. This shit been going on for like damn near 4 years with these third quarters.
Yeah.
And you hear him say, well, we're still trying to figure it out. Bro,
Wow.
if you haven't, it's one thing to be able to correct it. Because, sometimes maybe you need certain things to correct stuff, right? But if you ain't figured out what the problem was in 3 years, at anything, I don't care what you do in life. You could be a goddamn plumber. You could be a computer technician. You could be a lawyer. You could be anything, man. If you ain't at least figured out what the problem was on a particular thing you've been working on for 3 fucking years, you don't need to be doing that shit. You don't need to be doing that, man. You gotta let it go, bro. You ain't gonna never figure it out. So I mean, tonight it's just more of the same, man. Nobody, I think, here who watches this show thought the Pelicans were gonna win tonight.
No.
Zion and Poole, they still out.
Yep.
So what shot? I mean, even with a competent coach, this still would have been a tough victory to pull off. The Lakers have been playing pretty well this season in comparison to us. This team was 8-4 before the night. They're 9-4 now. So this was going to be a tough one, no matter which way you look at it. But you would have liked to see the Pelicans make it harder, for the Lakers, man. They had a cakewalk tonight. Luka was 6 for 16. You know what I'm saying? And this was probably one of the easier victories they've had. Even though Austin Reeves looked like he got better, man. Austin Reeves.
Yeah.
Nice, man. But
yeah, he looked different, bro. Totally
both
different.
of them going to the free throw line 13 times is insane, though, man. When you look at the free throws, it's diabolical, bro. Austin Reeves went to the free throw line 13 times. Luka went 13 times. Guess who else went to the free throw line for the Lakers? Nobody. Nobody.
Right. Yeah.
It's just weird, man. And then them going to the free throw line 13 times. Did that even get close to the attempts that we went to the free throw line as a team?
Well, no, it didn't. But we had 18 attempts. They had 26.
They had 26 spread over 2 players that happen to be of a certain complexion. I don't know if that if that matters tonight, but it is kind of weird.
Yeah, the complexion for the detection.
Yeah, they got a little complexion for the protection. Although these brothers can ball, so I ain't saying they wasn't getting fouled some of these times, but a lot of those were just based on their reputation, man. It's a little crazy. Luka had 9-10 trips to the free throw line in the first half.
Yeah, Luka. Yeah, he's
starstruck, bro.
Yeah, it was. You're right. I mean, the free throw attempts was basically between the backcourt. That was Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. I mean, they combined by themselves for 26 attempts by themselves. Those 2 players outdid the entire Pelicans team. But that's when you get no respect from the officials at all. And especially in your own building, usually you would get the benefit of the call. It simply just didn't happen. And you're right, Fears was going there, and they weren't making a call. But did you hear Willie Green say anything to the officials? Did you hear him, pitch what and cut up or whatnot? No such thing.
Well, no, he did. Q.
He didn't.
Willie Green.
I didn't see him.
Willie Green flew off the handle with maybe about 3 minutes left in the game.
Oh, see, that's what I saw. I watched it. I was looking at it. I was like, man, I didn't remember seeing Willie Green go all the way out, fight for the players, like throw up a chair or something.
That's a freaking foul, man.
I didn't see him go all the way out, bro. That would have been a good chance for him to do that.
I think he got a tech. I think he got a tech for a quarter.
Okay. I don't remember that. Maybe I'm not as dialed in as I usually am with some of these games, so I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? If she'd have been here tonight, she would have said that was fake emotion and fake anger because it was.
Yeah.
But he late in the fourth quarter, he he finally decided to pull out the bag. You know, I guess he figured that wouldn't take no money out of his pocket, you know.
Well, he said that. That's actually a Willie Green quote that he did say.
Ever gotten ejected?
Yes.
It was that one game, I think that Warriors game, right?
Yeah, when he was fussing at the dude. I think he got ejected twice. Y'all correct me in the chat, fam. Because I remember one time he pushed one of the guys, and he pushed the guy. He told him that was an effing foul. That was one, and then he did it again later on. It was like 2 times he got ejected in all of the 5 years that he'd been down here.
You know, I'm all for a person not cursing, but it's almost maybe I just was scarred in childhood because you know, like when your people tell you you can't curse, but if you say a word that's not a curse word, but it's too close to a curse word, you still get the same punishment. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna stay up there and say that's a freaking foul, just say it. Just say it. It's the same thing.
You got thrown out plus don't you get fined when you get ejected? Don't you get fined along with it?
I think
y'all answer that in the chat. When you get thrown out, do you get
up to a suspension? You know what I mean? Like, okay. So if you get ejected so many times, I think you get suspended, and that's your way of getting fined. But I know if you critique the refs for sure on that podium, you get fined. But I don't think they get fined just for getting ejected.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong, you know.
The fact who that daddy said yes, they do. They get fined as well when you get ejected.
Who that daddy? Do you know that?
He said, yeah, you do. Thank you, who that daddy. Shout out to you, brother. Good to see you. What's up, TFP? Big ups to TFP, man. Much love. Brother Jaden as well. Much love. Knox Villain is in the building. What's up, Daniel? Daniel Barry in the building. E-Sign, shout out to you, my friend. Much love. Appreciate y'all. What's up, JoJo? Shout out to you, man. And this is the thing, man, as we keep it moving, man. Let's hit the stats, DC. Then we'll kind of peek into Sunday's matchup against Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. That's the next team we have, and that's the first of the back-to-back because Sunday's the Golden State game and Monday is the Denver Nugget game. So this can go off the rails real fast, man. All right, so anyway, let's hit it up, man. Here go the team statistics here. The Pelicans were 39 of 89 today, 44%. The Lakers shot 52% from the field, man, 44 of 84. They were 10 of 34 from downtown for 29%. Pelicans were 12 of 34 from downtown for 35%. DC, you mentioned the free throws. The Lakers were 20 of 26. Really, it was the backcourt of the Lakers, which is Luka and Reeves combined. They were 20 of 26 between 2 players. The entire Pelican squad was 14 of 18 for 78%. The Lakers out-rebounded the Pelicans 45 to 42. They out-assisted the Pelicans 28 to 24, outstole them 13 to 12, outblocked them 5 to 3. They did have less turnovers and gave up 21 points off 18 turnovers. The Pelicans had 20 turnovers and gave up 23 points off those particular turnovers. Of course, you see the largest lead they had at one point was up to 22 points in a game over the Pelicans. So, like you mentioned, that first quarter, losing by 10, and that just kind of set the rest of the game. As we get into the box score for the Pels, Trey Murphy had a really, just exploded for 35 points. He was 13 of 21 from the field, 3 of 7 from downtown, 6-6 from the foul line. He had 6 rebounds to go along with that thing. So Trey in 39 minutes put up 35 points. He was the clear leader there in terms of the points, but Jeremiah Fierce was second, 19 points on 8 of 16 shooting from the field. He was perfect from downtown, 2 of 2, 1 of 2 from the foul line. He finished with 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and he had 8 steals, as we mentioned earlier. 13 points from Herb Jones on a really a pretty pathetic shooting game from Herb from the field. He was 4 of 14, a horrible 1 of 8 from downtown for Herb. 13 points in 34 minutes of action, 6 rebounds, 3 assists actually, and a block for him. Sadiq Bey, not so much for Sadiq Bey in this game. Really was lighting it up in terms of the scoring over the last few games. This one, he kind of cooled down. 11 points in 37 minutes of action. He was 3 of 13 from the field, 3 of 8 from downtown, perfect from the foul line, finished with 7 rebounds and 7 assists for him. in the matchup. And then, of course, you look at Kayvon Looney, who played 11 minutes, and Kayvon really didn't do too much. He's 2 points and 2 assists, not even a rebound for Kayvon Looney. He really doesn't need to start. He can really just come up off the bench. Then, speaking of the bench, you had 9 points for Derek Queen. He played 29 minutes. He was 4 of 10 from the field, 0 for 1 from downtown, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. He finished with 9 points and 10 rebounds, 5 assists, but he did have 5 turnovers in this matchup. So something to work on for the Rook in 29 minutes. Eves came in for 10 minutes, had 1 assist and a rebound. No offensive, no scoring production. Jose Alvarado in 21 minutes had 8 points on 3 of 18 shooting. He was 2 of 4 from downtown, had 2 assists in the matchup. 3 from Jordan Hawkins. He played only 9 minutes. He was 1 of 2 from the field, 1 of 2 from downtown. So he finished with 3 points and 3 boards. 4 points for Karlo Mekovic in the 13 minutes that he played, and 3 rebounds he tossed in there. And outside of that, not really much to talk about for the Pelicans off the bench, in terms of that. So a struggle factory of sorts for the Pelicans as they get handled by the Lakers, who are actually pretty decent on the road. They have a winning record on the road, which is tough to win on the road, but they're doing a pretty good job. They're 6-2 and playing good basketball. So DC, go ahead and if you got something to add on this, go ahead, bro. Feel free.
Well, I think we can move on, to be honest, man. I mean, it ain't really nothing to add other than just talking about Trey and Fears, what he did tonight. Pretty much already gave that brother a shout out and how he was basically manhandled by the refs. But I think Trey really found something, dropping 35 tonight. A couple of games ago, he had 41? He tied his career high. And he looks to be, the Trey that we expect to see, man. Not really overthinking it, kind of being more aggressive with shooting instead of creating for others. I don't really think that's, 100% really his lane. Trying to do that, man, you're a bucket, bro. Just go out there and score. And he kind of did that. Want him to cut down on those turnovers. 6 turnovers is a little crazy, especially for Trey. But he got a lot of his points in the paint. They didn't come. He didn't have like a crazy 3-point night. He only hit 3 triples. He was, and he ain't had many. I don't think he had any mid ranges. Did he have any mid range shots? I think it was all like pretty much 12 feet in. He was just doing work. And tonight he definitely was getting hacked. Everybody on the Pels was getting hacked tonight, but he got to the line 6 times. Hit all his free throws.
Yeah, and, he's perfect.
And he put that damn clamp on Willie Green's neck. It told him he ain't coming out in the first quarter. I like that, man. And I remember Willie Green, stupid ass, called the timeout when Trey was mad. It's just, man, you just find so many ways to just suck the life out of the team. If there's a way to do that, Willie Green will definitely find it. It's just funny, man. But at this point, they've whittled us down to looking at bright spots of individual performances, because that's pretty much all we got. But Derek Queen, like he had a rough night tonight. So
yeah, he did.
We're looking forward for a bounce back from him against the Warriors. Because who are the Warriors? Who are their bigs? I'm not even sure who their bigs are. I don't watch a lot of Warriors games, so
don't they still have
when we cover the team?
Don't they still have Dale Davis? Is not Dale Davis? That is Dale Davis's son.
Dale Davis?
Yeah. What's his name? What's the brother? Not Dale Davis.
He's not good enough to stand up with his own name.
No, it's just the man played for the Pacers. I forgot it's what's his name? Hold on, I'm gonna pull up their lineup. But the man that's the man's son from used to play for the Pacers a long time ago. What's his name? Tracy Jackson Davis. It was y'all help me out. What was the man name? Used to play. He was the center. Pretty garbage, big guy, pretty physical for the Pacers. But his son plays for the Golden State Warriors. Tracy Jackson Davis is one of the bigs. But Draymond Green, if you look at the depth chart, DC, I could pull that up for you. Yeah,
Well, we
that's
know
right.
the guy. We know it's Draymond, but like
Yeah, Draymond at the they have it. I don't know if it's true or not, but they got Jimmy Butler at the 4. Kaminga, Al Holford is there. Al Holford is there. Tracy Jackson Davis is another dude that they use at the center position. They have Santos, another big. Will Richard, a few players. So I mean, these are backups like fourth stringers and stuff that they move. But most of the time, they operate a lot of small ball there. But I think Tracy Jackson Davis is the dude that they use a lot at the center position. When they do, when they're not using Draymond and Jimmy Butler at the 5 and 4.
Okay. So, well, I'm intrigued to see what DQ can do against those guys. Probably be a tough matchup if they decide to throw Draymond on him, but I like to see what that looks like and see him have a bounce back game because he's pretty much been pretty solid since he's been getting minutes, and I think this is probably the first little rough patch he done ran into. Even though he had 10 boards tonight, man, and pretty much a shot at getting that elusive double-double. I don't think he had many of those yet in his young career. So just looking forward to his evolution and seeing him keep growing, as well as it's just weird to me. It seems like when Fears has a really good game or does something that makes you look at him, it's like Derek Queen isn't, I guess, popping as much. I don't know, man. I like to see both of them have just a breakout performance together because these two guys are obviously our future, along with Trey. So I want to see them continue to grow and be able to play well together. And everybody else, man, just looking at this roster right now, like, y'all think we're going to make any moves at the trade deadline? And based on what we saw now, although Willie Green is still the coach, so if this was like 2K or something, Willie Green, your coach, everybody's overall probably drops like 8 points. So I don't know how these guys will look under another coach, but is there anybody on the team right now that you would be looking to trade or get someone else? And would they be worth anything?
I'm the only person. I mean, there are quite a few people. I guess not quite a few, but 2 names immediately come to mind. You talking about trading people, DC. I think DeJounte Murray comes to mind. I think Jose Alvarado comes to mind. So I think that's 2 people that comes to mind in terms of the trade and what could possibly be. And like I said, we have like a month and a half, about a month and a half left before the year flips to 2026 when they're expecting DeJounte Murray to come back. So, that's a lot of money that the Pelicans are playing DeJounte Murray, and where and how will he fit into what's going on here? The Pelicans are sure wasting away a lot of time here because this is when we're supposed to be developing the team. Right now, it's so much drawback right now because of the stupidity that they represent. But those are the 2 names that come to mind, DC, to think about it, man. DeJounte Murray and Jose Alvarado. That's the 2 I got. And perhaps Jordan Hawkins, depending on how you feel about Jordan Hawkins. I know they paid him gave him the option for $7 million. They opened up for $7 million on that. Yeah, I don't know if they might scare some people off. But that's probably the best I got right there, if you're looking at names.
Okay.
What's up, DJ? State of the Pelicans. Shout out to DJ. What's up, DJ? Don Dada, what's up, my brother? Good to see you. 504 Code, big ups to you. Ask the question, Q and DC. If Ja Morant becomes available, do you explore bringing them in via trade? That's interesting, man.
I would say yes. I don't know how we would figure it out, how we would make it work with our current roster, but it depends on the price. If it's something, that ain't crazy, like for instance, I'll say crazy looking at like Desmond Bain, how they gave up 4 unprotected firsts or something like that. I don't know if I want to do that, but Ja's trade value might not be that high depending on who you send back. I don't know how we would make it work, but Ja is he's just too phenomenal of a talent to not take a swing at. If it's somewhere he would like to be, he wants to play with Zion, and it's something you can work out with Memphis, I say, hell yeah, you do it. I know DeJounte has to be involved in the trade some type of way. And
Yep.
then obviously it would be somebody else in draft compensation. So I'm not trading Trey, not trading Derek Queen. I don't want to trade Fears either. Don't want to swap him for Zion. I don't think that makes a lot of sense with our roster. So I definitely want to keep Zion with him. Everybody else could possibly be in the discussions for Ja. So I don't think it would be a bad idea. And you look as far as my thinking in 2019, I wanted to have both of them. So I mean, maybe I ain't the right person to say it, but I think it's something that would work out with a competent GM. We would obviously have to probably restructure the team, though.
Yeah, you definitely have to restructure the team, bro, because you're gonna have an aggressive player like John Morant, who's very vocal, and then he does play some games, but he has a certain temperament that he kind of gets in trouble with certain things and all this, and that would be the guy you're bringing in here. So you would have to kind of see how he would fit there. Plus, is the dynamic of having Fears as the future as well. So I don't know if it'll be an interesting thought process, to be honest with you, but you definitely have to switch around the team.
Well, I'm looking at, okay, just far as him as an asset, look at Phoenix, right? For instance, let's say Ja comes here, we try, it works out, we're able to keep, our 2 rookies that we got this year. It don't work, right? And you have to move off of Ja.
TFP said Ja will get arrested in New Orleans. Yeah, I ain't gonna say the man a troublemaker, man, but he ain't exactly the coolest head that you would need. You got a superstar who really cool, who too chill, who's not aggressive enough. Using, DC, he don't throw his weight around.
I think he would bring some fire. He would bring some fire out of Zion. That's really why I would do it.
Because I don't know, would that be good fire or the bad shit? I mean,
good. Because I think that duo, it would be so dynamic, man. And they already kind of know each other. Like their chemistry, I just think would be crazy, man. And all you really got to do with them two, you figure out shooting. That's pretty much it. Your defensive system you're gonna run, and shooting, because dynamically, just attacking downhill, man. Who the hell want to deal with Ja and Zion all game? Now, I know you got the whole injury thing that you could throw at either one of them, but for the sake of them being healthy, nobody wants to deal with that, man. Especially in a playoff atmosphere, either you don't want to see that.
That if you add that guy, you don't give up.
It's
core people. That
will be one of the funnest teams in the league, man.
Yeah, that catapults you. Yeah, that catapults you up until people expecting you to have deep playoff runs. But once again, you have to have a guy that can get the job done. Like I said, the Pelicans are so brain neutral that they don't do what's obviously necessary. You got to cut the fat. You got to chop off and lop off.
Everybody's saying we don't have a trade capital for Ja. If I think
they ain't gonna want nothing small.
All these salaries we have, we got $30 million from DeJounte. You got $30 million in Jordan Poole. You got Trey's, what is his? No, his cap hit probably only like 12, right? Not Trey. Herb's cap hit is 12. Jose, it's probably like 5. Hawk is like 5. There's no way we can make it happen, Stacey.
I mean, yeah, you looking
you talking as if we trading him today. I'm talking like before the trade deadline. Yeah, DeJounte is hurt, but I mean he's not gonna be hurt all year. If he comes back, proves he can play. 1, 2,
3, 4. I mean, you got 4. Let me see, 5 double-digit salaries on the team. Zion's salary is 39.4, which you're not. I'm just telling the salaries.
What's John's salary?
Hold on, let me see. 39.4 from Zion. Next one is 31.8 for Jordan Poole. It's 30.8 for DeJounte Murray, 25 flat for Trey, 13.9 for Herb. And then everything else goes into single digits. You see 8 for Kayvon Looney, 6.1 for Sadiq Bey, 4.5 for Jose, 7.5 for Jeremiah Fears, 4.7 for Hawk, 1.2 for Peavy, 5.1 for Derek Queen, and 1.2. I already said Peavy. So yeah, the top 4 salaries on your team, Zion, followed by Poole, Murray, Murphy. Those are the 4 in terms of.
It's 39, so I don't understand. Why y'all saying we don't have the salary? Maybe it's something. I'm not a salary cap wizard, and I know some people in the chat. Y'all might know the salary cap better than me, but 39 million, and you got one player that'll account for 30. You got 2 players that account for 30 on your team. It don't seem that hard to fill out the other 9 to 10 million.
Yeah, that you make a point, DC. But the Memphis
they gotta want
something, right? They gotta you gotta have a participant. You gotta have a willing participant. So I don't think they do that unless you give them a Trey Murphy or a Zion Williamson, in which the Pelicans will be reluctant to do.
It don't make sense to do. I can't give them Trey because it's too hard to find. Trey or Zion is too hard to find, and Zion and Ja would be an even swap, but it's like I don't think that as far as the team we have, that doesn't make us a better team. So
now anything you do, you have to add. If you're doing that,
a Queen Slim, so
right? If you do a Ja, and I'm just saying this is just hyperbole. If we do a Ja trade, you would have to secure Zion and Trey in that trade. You would have to have that as the 3 main players. Any other way wouldn't make any sense. But I don't think it happens anyway. It was a nice dream. As a matter of fact, I think he was the one that talked about this a long time ago. Where he was like, "Man, if they was aggressive,
trade Drew
Holiday." Yes, yeah, I remember
Drew Holiday and to give him the 4th Drew Holiday and what you want, Drew and Lonzo Ball? Okay, give me Ja. Like that was my proposal. Drew Holiday, if they want Lonzo Ball too. Who else we had on the team who was I was willing to give. I think at the time I wanted to keep Brandon Ingram, boy. But looking back at what if they would traded Brandon Ingram for Ja?
Man, that turned out to be a disaster there, bro. Anyway, let's move on, man, to the next one. Golden State, New Orleans Pelicans, Sunday, 6 p.m. tip-off time in the Smoothie King Center.
We got all our picks, my man Stacy, till 2031, except for the one this year or next year with Atlanta. We got all our other picks. And we got one more Milwaukee pick, I think.
All right, so let's preview this one, DC. Golden State Pelicans. Matchup indicator say 74% going toward Golden State Warriors. I really can't give the Pelicans like seeing what's going on there, man. Man, Willie Green is a zombie, man. It's just this team is just not going anywhere, man. They're just stuck in a loop. Like we seen some aggressive play by him several games ago, but that is that undissipated. Like, and I think he could like what happened with Trey Murphy today. He might have another mutiny on the ship, DC. To see that happen because a lot of players already are giving up on Willie Green, and you see how Trey Murphy, what happened with him in this game, how he looked at how Willie Green did, and people like, see, I told you this guy's stupid. So I mean, it's the guy just like, and you know what, man, I used to have a lot of respect for Willie Green, man. I really did until I seen how he is behaving. And really, that's not the type of temperament you're supposed to have when the ownership, the only reason you got a job is because the owner is stupid. I mean, you don't supposed to be in this role, in this position. And your behavior is just like really off-putting. Like the dude, how he behaving with Eves and what happened with Eves on social media, you stink. Dog, you garbage. So you can't really be mad at players because they're upset about the losing and they saying stuff about this because you never won the players back. You can't kind of piss your team off and then want them to win so that you can keep your damn job. That's not going to work. So Willie Green right now, man, is like kind of thumbing his nose, pun intended, at the team. And some of these guys, man, don't like his ass, and he's losing more and more people. And like I said, man, we got 2 games left before the 5. This little skid that we had going on with the home games. What we got? The Golden State Warriors Sunday and Denver on Monday. And man, listen, the Pelicans could be 10 games down. It could be 2-12 by Monday afternoon, family. Y'all could be 2-12. 10 games underneath 500. I mean, 10 games from getting to 500 because of Willie Green. So, I mean, like I said, I don't know what they're doing, and we'll cover some of the article right here. But, man, even if he wins 1 game or even 2 games, that shouldn't buy him any more time. I think the man is showing you that he can't sustain winning. Whatever he's done he's doing it. It's not working. So a decision needs to be made. And it needs to be made as soon as possible so we can get back to winning, because the whole family base wants this guy gone. The team wants him gone. Just lop this guy off and let's keep it moving. So anyway, the Golden State Warriors game, in my opinion, it's a loss. It's a loss, man. The Pelicans just don't have their hit or miss. And like I said, Willie Green is continuing to sap out, just siphon out all the energy and anything. He's not an intelligent strategist. That's not even close to what he is. I don't know what he does right outside of sabotaging his team, calling these weird timeouts, these weird lineups that got Kayvon Looney in certain situations. I don't understand what he's doing and why he's doing. It's just really a dumb head coach operating with a terrible temperament. And I just want to see the guy go, man. So if he had any kind of a backbone, a spine, just resign, man. Just resign and spare the team from firing you, dude. Just resign. But the guy doesn't have any backbone. He's going to hold on to that job. He sold his soul for that job. He's going to hold on to that job long time as he can. But his time is coming to an end, bro. We want him the hell up out of here. So 10 games under 500, fam. Before Thanksgiving, 10, and you got 2, and I don't give you a win against either Golden State or Denver on Saturday and Sunday. I'm gonna say no to both those games. I'm sorry, I have to keep it real. This team can't sustain winning with this guy. Go ahead, DC, you got it, bro.
Man, the matchup indicator getting wilder and wilder as the season goes on. They give us a 26% chance, man. Normally we'd be like, oh man, that's crazy, but I can't even say I'm mad at them right now. They ain't got a chance in hell at winning this game. Somebody put in the chat, they said Steph dropped 49 points tonight, huh?
I ain't gonna light the Pelicans up when they play them, man, because they don't have no defense.
Mm-mm.
Boy, if you
know the fears. This is fears. He says he doesn't have a favorite player, but they asked him, what player he try to model his game he watching. He says Steph, man. So he say he don't have a favorite player, but if he had a favorite or admitted to having a favorite, I think it would be this guy. So it'd be interesting to see how that matchup goes.
Listen,
would they gonna throw Herb on him and have him running all over the place?
If Grayson Allen lit the Pelicans up for 40-something points the other night, imagine what Steph Curry gonna do him, bro.
But
Grayson freaking Allen, man.
This is the Pelicans, just like tonight with Luka. A 40-point game from Luka just wasn't necessary tonight. It could be the same situation with Steph, man, where, he doing this thing, but it really don't, you ain't got to play him that long for him to get that, because they don't really need that much from him. So, you don't know with the Pels, man. Willie talking about the third quarters. What I've been seeing the trend, the first quarters. And pretty much after the first quarter, don't we all feel like the game is over? Well, you kind of feel that way before the game even started. But if you're actually watching the game, you didn't know Willie Green was the coach. After the first quarter, it's pretty demoralizing. So if they have a first quarter like they have tonight, and then they follow that up, with a okay second quarter, not a fantastic second quarter, get back in the game, I don't know if we see a 40-point game from Steph, because we know what they're gonna do in the third. They're gonna always lose the third quarter, and it's gonna be when they first come out. When they first come out of halftime, they're gonna suck.
Flat. They're
And
gonna
then
be
sometimes if it's a night where they want to fight, they're gonna fight back in there before the fourth quarter where it don't look too bad. You know, similar to the night. You know, they only lost the third quarter by 5 points. And he's like, damn, but they lost it by 5 points. Well, shit, normally they lose them motherfuckers about 10, 12 points, 15. So 5 points is an improvement, I guess. But I'm not sure, man. We got to see how the game play out to see if Steph gonna kill us. But I don't see the Pels beating this Warrior team. And when do they get a break in the schedule? Because at this point, you would have to think when they get a break somewhere in the schedule that they're just gonna go ahead and fire Willie. Miss Benson came out. Oh, we're gonna get into that in a little next, right?
yeah.
I guess you go ahead and go to that before
They got a break in the schedule. I don't know, DC. You said a break in the schedule because they have a
as far as when they get a break, like
like a 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, like a couple of days, like 3-4 days worth of rest. Maybe that's what they're waiting for. They don't want to put James Borrego in a situation where it's, he messed up before he can even get started.
Well, I mean, they got a game on a Sunday, then Monday. Then between the game on Monday, they play again on Wednesday against Denver. That ends the homestand.
Yeah, they're just gonna have to pull it.
So it's Golden State. I said Denver. It's Golden State and OKC. So Sunday is Golden State. Monday is OKC. Wednesday is Denver.
So they got to go ahead and let them go pretty much Monday.
Well, I mean, it's the interim coach should be able to step in there, bro. I mean, it ain't ideal against OKC or even at Denver, but I think that you have a bigger problem in keeping them around. The interim coach knows the players. He knows.
Maybe they're just waiting on. Are they waiting for Zion or Poole to come back? Do they want to give him one more chance? Like, do they have the mindset he's losing these games because Zion not here?
I would say hopefully they don't think that, because we've seen Willie Green with these guys in there and they still lose the game. We've seen Poole and Zion in there, they lose the game. So that'll be asinine for the Pelicans to say keep trying to give Willie Green chance after chance. I've not known an NBA team as stupidly patient with the wrong person as I've seen the New Orleans Pelicans. I mean, they have championship coaches and coaches that were the best in their franchise history, like the guy from Memphis. And they weren't nearly as patient with these men. And they had hardware and wins and records, behind their names. And they were not nearly as patient. This guy hasn't done nearly any of that consistency. And you can stupidly give patience behind the wrong person. So I sincerely hope that is not the answer, man. We've given Willie Green they extended Willie Green an extra year, which we would have been done with him we'd have been done with him this past offseason. He would have done it if it wasn't for Griffin extending him out and then trying to fire him the next year. So I mean, it's just we've given Willie Green every opportunity to improve and do what he's supposed to do, and all he does is come up with these half-ass game plans, say the same thing over and over again in these press conferences. A guy in the chat says, I played the wrong press conference. It was actually a press conference. It don't freaking matter, dude. I mean, he says the same stuff every damn press conference, and people, they know, and they hear it, and they check out when they listen to him because he says the same thing over and over again. So who cares? It does not equate to winning, and it's basically a regurgitated script that he says over and over again. Every loss is the same thing. We need to do this. It's the same stuff. He doesn't say anything new. He doesn't get specific. He and break down what he needs to do and how he needs to improve. It's nothing there because he doesn't have it. He can't break down and give you strategy, real in-depth strategy for these people to follow behind. And he doesn't have the resume for that. Plus, he's acting petty and doing the things that he's doing with these players who are obviously upset. They're supposed to be upset when the dumb coach is not operating and calling these weird ass substitutes and calling timeouts at weird points of the game. Not drawing up any plays, can't in the clutch moments of the game, can't come up with a decent game plan for them to do anything. They're losing the close games. Don't know how to motivate them properly. Don't know how to talk to the players. Come on, man. And they all know that he's only here because the owner doesn't know basketball and is sticking with him and nobody could touch him. That's they know, literally looking at him and understanding the only reason you got a job, bro, is because that lady over there like you. Imagine that. A dude screwing up, you got a goddamn job you work at or wherever you at, you make your money. They got a guy there, man, that screw up everything. And the only reason he got a job because he's related to the owner or the owner likes him and keeps him in a managerial position. And he's screwing up everything, making mistakes and blaming you and the players for it. Well, we got to play with this. We got to play with it's just ridiculous. So that'll create low morale in the organization. The people, the word's already out. A lot of the people know that it's just a terrible situation with the Pelicans because they understand that that's a poison, man. So, it's like when a guy underperforms, he gets fired, but that's the same type of temperament you use for making loans. Let's go ahead, DC, and kind of move into the Gayle Benson thing because obviously we know that it's a loss. This Golden State game, the Monday game against OKC is a big loss, and then the Wednesday game against the Nuggets is. So if the Pelicans,
I thought one thing you were saying when I was talking, I was like, man, y'all realize how hard it is for us to just watch Willie Green's press conferences? Right?
It don't, and the man was right. I did play the wrong press conference. He's right, but guess what? It don't fucking matter. That's the crazy part about it. He right, but it don't matter because he's saying the same thing. He says the same thing and nobody notices, nobody cares. He says the same thing, bro. The same thing every press conference, bro. It's nothing insightful. It's the same stuff. And if you are, just imagine how the players feel.
Bro, how they trying to listen to him talk.
Right.
Teach him anything. Oh my God.
Bro, think about how you feel. You don't see his fucking face every day. They do. And the guy talking to you, and this is what you get every day. This is your head coach. Imagine how drained you would be. We play Willie Green. We do all these shows, almost all these shows. I know I missed one, the Portland show, I think. I was busy, but we missed the show. But the reality is, man, Willie Green says the same thing over and over again. It's nothing new to nothing that he's doing. He's been talking like this for years, man. He gives nothing in depth, nothing serious, nothing cerebral, nothing, it's just a bunch of bullshit. And the players are drained. People are tired of him. And whatever he's saying, it just don't work. It's just not working, man. And he can't switch and adapt and change. He's not consistently good at sticking to stuff that works. He doesn't know he doesn't have any rhythm or flow with the game. His substitutions are weird. It's just a ton of things that he's supposed to. This man been here for 5 years, fam. He ain't no rookie head coach no more. This dude's supposed to have improved mightily. Look at how even his peers, when he came into the league, guys like Charles Lee, guys like, what's the brother DC from Orlando, Mosley, who interviewed, both Lee and Mosley interviewed for jobs for the Pelicans.
Thiago Splitter, he's probably like 7 games into his career. He already better than Willie Q.
To see, it's just crazy.
The coach for the Suns, about the same thing. He could probably got a few more. He about 12 games into his career.
He better than him. Yeah, JJ Redick ain't had, but when he got the job, DC never coached the game. He was better than him. So we're gonna do some of it on the Sports Coma tomorrow. Y'all do us a service and hit the like button, man, as we keep this thing going on, man. All right, so this is from NOLA.com for some of the family members that probably don't know. There was an interview that took place with Jeff Duncan of NOLA.com and Gayle Benson, and she asked several questions. She was asked several questions and gave some candid remarks about the team. So we'll cover pretty much what was said about the Pelicans, being that this is a Pelicans dream, right? So she mentioned stuff. She talked about the Pelicans and head coach Willie Green. She talked about, the status of both teams because she basically runs both clubs. She's the owner. So this is what she said as we get going. The Saints and Pelicans are both off the historical slow starts. How would you assess their respective seasons so far? Gayle says, I'm obviously not happy. I am disappointed, and I would expect our fans to also be disappointed. What we established over the last 2 decades with the Saints was a winning organization with the expectation to compete for championships every year. That is our goal, and that has not changed. That is what I expect, and that is what our fans expect. There is the reality that both leagues have rules to create parity and opportunities, such as the salary cap, and I certainly understand resetting that cap and rebuilding. But nevertheless, I want to win. My role is to hire the best people. I can give them the resources they need to win. It's also my job to hold them accountable if we're not meeting our goals. My expectations for the Pelicans are the same. So as you can see, that's her spiel right there. It does sound like it was quite prepared. All right, so DC, let me get through a couple of them, then I'm gonna kind of, let you throw your stuff in there, bro. All right, so this is another question. Fans have expressed their discontent to us at the Times-Picayune, emails, text, letters to the editor. How aware are you and other officials of the fans' displeasure right now? I am absolutely aware. I am not an absentee owner who flies in just for games. I'm in the office and I'm out in the community every day. I talk to the fans, partners, and our staff every day. We discuss and hear their frustration regarding the performance of both teams every day. No one is very happy with either team's performance right now, especially me. With that said, I am confident both teams are headed in the right direction, specifically the acquisition and development of our young players that are playing and starting for both teams. They will be the core for years to come. But again, I understand the frustration and anxiety of patience. I believe in the plan and vision as we develop both teams and getting our young players that we have drafted on the field and on the court right now. So as you can see, she talks about getting the players and trying to ask for patience. Do you receive letters from and messages from fans? Benson says yes, all the time, and they're very upset. I am very upset. No, you're not. But I can't do any more than listen to what she says here. Yes, yes, all the time. She gets these letters and they're very upset and I'm very upset, but I can't do any more than I'm doing. This is what she believes. I'm not going to fight anybody. These people that work for me, I respect them. They work very hard. You don't think Mickey Loomis is losing sleep at night over all this? No. Mickey Loomis is not losing any sleep over nothing dealing with the Saints, because Mickey Loomis, you have afforded him the ultimate job security. Why would a man that got supreme job security have problems going to sleep at night? You gave him the security. So he ain't worrying about his job. The only reason why he's staying up late, if he would to do that, is because he's worried about losing his position. You have afforded him no accountability and you have protected him. That's why he's sleeping easy at night. Yes, he's sleeping easy. He's not like sitting on his butt. He is sitting on his butt. That's all Mickey Loomis do, is sit on his ass. He hired all these former general managers for the Saints that go out and do his bidding for him. That's why he's sitting up there with the VP job and the general manager job. He doesn't need both of those jobs. But she can't do no more than that. I'm doing all that I can do. No, you need to restructure the Saints. You need to restructure the Pelicans at the top. Dennis Lauscher does not need to be the president of any one of these organizations. If you want to keep him as a top businessman, then give him the title befitting of that job description, and create a new president of football for the Saints and allow a real president or move Joe up to president of the Pelicans organization as opposed to the VP. And, in this sort of thing, that's how you reformat it, and take Mickey Loomis' general manager job and just keep him as the VP. Put a guy on top and make another president on the Saints side, and let Loomis be the VP and create another general manager like Kyle Hartley, who's the assistant GM, to be the guy. That's how you do it. I can't do no more. These people are all this money and no imagination at all. The question, the Pelicans are 150 and 188 and have not won a playoff series in Willie Green's 4+ seasons as a head coach. There have been national reports that the organization is monitoring his job status. How do you assess his job so far as a head coach? So they're asking her, about Willie Green as a coach. And this is her response. I hired Joe Dumars because we needed a change in leadership at the top level of the Pelicans. I believe in Joe, and Joe knows exactly the stats you noted. We need to improve immediately. Our roster is built for success right now. This is what Joe Dumars saying. You hear the owner saying it. I will rely on Joe to make these decisions and changes as he sees fit. Now, this is the first time we've heard this, because we all know she meddles in the and keeping these coaches. She did it with Gentry. She did it with Elvin Gentry. Now, all of a sudden, Willie Green, she did it with Gentry. So all of a sudden, now it's on Joe now. Now it's on Joe. DC, I'm going to say this last one. I'm going to turn it over to you for your response. Question specifically as it pertains to Willie Green. How do you feel about the job he's done? So the man says, okay, let's lock in. You didn't give me no answer. Let's press harder. What do you think about Green specifically? Benson, I really like Willie Green. He's such a nice man. But I hired Joe Dumars to assess our basketball operation, and that's what he's doing. He's assessing Willie and all the players. He and I spent the entire halftime of the Portland Trailblazers game on Wednesday night talking. When he makes a decision, that's up to him. That's why I hired him. I trust Joe because I feel like he knows people. He's known Willie since he was a child, so he know each other. And if he can fix that problem, he'll fix it. If he can't, then there'll be his decision, not mine. I left it in his hand. But in particularly, I think the decision to take her hands and put that into Joe Dumars happened during that Portland Trailblazers game. Because she didn't have to say specifically that game. She could say that I've been talking to him for all season up to this point. But I think a consensus was made in the Portland Trailblazer game to say, okay, listen, we getting a lot of flack. Joe, you got it. She took her hands off of Willie. Now, this could happen very fast because this is interesting because they don't do nothing by coincidence, fam. It's no such thing as no coincidence. This article comes out from Times-Picayune, and they give you specific information about the coaching hierarchy and the power of the hierarchy in terms of who can do this and who can do that. So now she letting you know in this article that it's in Joe's hands. So we might be looking at something that's going to happen pretty soon. I know I've been saying that for a while, but we didn't have this type of clarity in terms of, girl, get out the way and let them people work. This sort of thing. So anyway, DC, before I carry on, bro, go ahead. You got the floor.
Yeah, it's a little crazy because you seeing this. It's not a live interview. She obviously ain't gonna talk in front of no camera, and that lets you know. A lot of these answers are scripted, and she's gonna have an editor right there while she answering them, and this is gonna make sure it comes off and delivers the message that they believe they supposed to deliver to have us back off. From I guess the critiquing of Miss Benson. That's what I take out of it, because a lot of it is to me it just comes across as a lack of accountability, from an owner. And you think about an owner who would have a demand for winning, obviously they wouldn't be this patient. And Miss Benson got that mama energy, you know what I'm saying? So she love all her children, you love everybody. It's almost like you need somebody there to protect her from herself. And the fact that you're making a business decision because somebody is a nice man, but it's not good for business. You're obviously in the business of making money. And I guess what Willie Green is doing hasn't screwed up the team enough to where it isn't making the type of money that no changes would have to happen. But I think it's getting to that point. And my man Stacy put in chat earlier, he was like, did y'all see the people in the arena? Yeah, I looked at I didn't go to the game tonight, but I think it was Fletcher Mackle or somebody posted, and they took a picture of the arena. And you got to keep in mind, it's a Friday night in New Orleans. It's not cold. And this is like the NBA tournament type game. And on top of that, they playing the Lakers, which everybody in the city know. I mean, LeBron didn't play tonight, but everybody in the city know. Usually when we play the Lakers, you still got Luka there. Or when your superstar players come, people sell out the arenas, even when the Pels suck. But a lot of times when they selling out the arena, the team sucked, and it was reasons we sucked. Everybody's out, season-ending injuries. You just don't have the talent. We're in the middle of a rebuild, trying to figure out what we're gonna do. People still showing up to the games and just having it a part of something to do on a Friday. They didn't piss the people off so much. Y'all see this picture? Nobody's going. You got Kendrick Perkins and what's your boy play for? Richard Jefferson on a podcast addressing the fact that Willie Green don't even get announced when they call out the rosters. I mean, call out the players in the beginning of the game. Like they don't even acknowledge him. And Kendrick Perkins, I like what he said. He said, if y'all want to fire the man, fire him. You know what I'm saying? Stop playing these games and being petty with him.
Yeah, DC. I think I heard one of the people.
Richard Jefferson couldn't even get his words out. He was like, if they did that to me and I was a coach, that would be a problem, right?
Yeah.
You got Willie Green in a press conference saying it don't matter. It doesn't bother him. Whoever made the decision.
Well, you know why that is. Why they don't announce him, DC, because they announce Willie Green, they're gonna boo it. They're gonna boo him. They're gonna boo him. They're gonna boo Willie Green when they announce his name. So, I heard one of the insiders mention that like that's an attempt to stop him from getting booed. And I'm like, man, listen, man, you don't sit up here, and that's the problem with this team. That's the issue. Now, this whole little spin about her coming back around with this article, bro, and talking about who's handling what. This was a recent conversation she had with Joe Dumas, because we know what Gayle was doing. Gayle was sitting up there.
The Blazers game. So that had to be Joe, basically like, look, Ms. Benson, this ain't gonna work. Like, I know you said you want to this not. It had to be
right.
Like, why else would Joe be having this conversation with her?
Right.
All you gotta do is read between the lines. Like, it ain't. But you gotta make it known that there wasn't a mandate because you're a hands-off owner and all of this stuff. Mm-hmm. And then going through this whole article, she made sure at the end that she said none of the teams are for sale, and they working on redoing it was funny. She didn't say whether they were going to renovate it though. She said they're working on a agreement or whatever for the Pelicans arena. Did she even refer to it as a Smoothie King Center?
They didn't mention it, that they're working on the arena deal because they're looking
arena deal. But did she say they were going to renovate it?
Yeah, that's a part of it though. That's a part of it. That's a part of because she got a certain amount of money. The deal is she puts a certain amount of money in, and the state puts the rest. The state used the taxpayer money to put it in. Like we talk about this all the time. It's the taxpayer money, whether you're a Pelican or Saints person or not. They're using your tax dollars to renovate these buildings for the Saints to make billions of dollars on. She even mentioned the concession prices. So Slim, the joke that we made, bro, about the $20 nacho. Guess what? She made mention of the fact that they were working on the concession prices. So if the team still stinks, the concessions are high. They're $20 nachos and $10 drinks in there, man. Come on, man. What are we talking about here? And then a lot of the merchandise they have, that stuff is not nearly supposed to be that high. I mean, it's just disrespectful. But if you allow them to do you that, they're going to continue to do that. That's why I said a lot of times people have to start seeing this as a business too, and see their dollar as power. Because look how scant that arena is. A lot of the pale faithful are heeding the message. They're in unity. A lot of these other people, they're getting cheap tickets to go down there, but it's not going to be enough. It's not everybody will comply, but enough people will comply to drop that money down, and that'll force her to get these people. So the same technique we used to get rid of Dennis Allen is the same technique the people are using to get rid of Willie Green. And we knew when we got rid of Dennis Allen by not going to the games that we would have to do this with Willie Green. And why? Because these people do not know what they're doing, and she has no imagination with this team, fam. If you read this article, you can see she has no imagination. And her methods and techniques in terms of improving the team are ridiculous. She believes in a hierarchy, and that's the problem with the team. The Saints side of it haven't won anything since Sean Payton and Drew Brees left the team. They haven't done anything. And it basically Mickey Loomis is living off past rep, but he hadn't done anything recent. And like I said, I ain't gonna say he lucked up on it, but the Sean Payton and Drew Brees thing worked well. But look what he's done since then. He hadn't had the ability to be able to strike or make correct decisions. His immediate hire with Dennis Allen. Then it took you to fire him. He didn't fire him willingly. He was forced to fire him. You would still have him if it was for Mickey Loomis. But she doesn't see any of that. She doesn't see Dennis Lauscher is incompetent and shouldn't be a president of any of these teams. She doesn't see any of that stuff. And he's like, who you talking to? We talking to this person. I thought you need to stop talking to the people, Gayle, because they're not telling you the right stuff. This stuff is not hard to tell. You need this 2 places. I keep telling these people the same stuff we've been telling them for years. And they do stuff, one thing every year. They work, this didn't work, and they scratch it off the list, process elimination. That's what David Griffin did. Do you see his times? In the 5 or 6 years, he was the GM or the VP, whatever the hell he was. He was just scratching shit off, listening and scratching it off. I'm like, man, what are you doing? But this is the problem with her. And I realized, and I told y'all, the leadership has always been a problem with the New Orleans pro basketball team, the Hornets, and then the Pelicans. It's always been ownership issues, as problems down here, because the ownership doesn't know what they're doing. They're not a respected team. This is a team that want to make money off you. They spend a little money here, spend a little money there. But at the end of the day, they do not hire the proper people to do the work. They don't. And then she sit up here and tell you she hugging on the players. Ma'am, respectfully, the players don't need a mama. They got mamas and parents, man.
In the building every day, Q.
That don't matter, ma'am. That's not working.
No, nobody is over Joe Dumas and Mickey, but her. They answer directly to her, and she in the building every day, Q.
So how the Lexxah work though? You see what I'm saying? There's a hierarchy for these teams.
She had Arsenal, dog. He over there.
Bro, it's amazing to me. You got a president of basketball operations. His name is Dennis Lexxah. How's the guy the president of basketball operation and he don't know nothing about basketball operations? He knows how to make business arrangements with Osh and all these and sponsorship deals and all this, but the man doesn't know anything about pro basketball. He doesn't know anything about pro football on the court and on the field. How is he the president of your team? How? And she just told you the underlings for Dennis Lexxah report directly over his head to the ownership. Then why is he there, fam? Why is he there? But she don't see any problem with that. She don't see any problem with these guys just sitting up here, just parasites on the team. This guy done finagled his big fat ass into a position where he's sitting on the board of Oshina Hospital, and he the president of 2 professional teams in New Orleans. And he sits as a director on the board of Oshina, one of the richest hospital institution in this area. How did he do that? He wormed his way into that. He has no knowledge of any of those things. He don't have any health information. He don't know anything about pro basketball or football, but he's your president of operations. They don't see any problem with that. Not at all.
They're probably one of the biggest, I guess, funders of Oshina through their professional teams, though. Because, most players are probably getting a lot of their surgeries and all of their stuff done straight through Oshina. I wonder if, some of these trainers and other people that, they don't list as a part of the training staffs come directly from them. So I guess by him weaseling his way in there, it had to. What else could it be other than just like a money situation, right? Because like they got certain contracts that the Pelicans and the Saints bring, and if y'all want to keep getting our contracts, put me on the board. Really could be that simple. Huh?
He could, because there is I don't know if it's a conflict of interest, so to speak, because he sits on the board as a director, and they have a direct business, like they have business flowing between them. They act as the healthcare system for both the teams, and they also are paying a sponsorship deal to the Saints and Pelicans. Their name is on the practice facility. Their name is on the practice, so they have like a sponsorship deal going on with them. So money's being exchanged between the 2 parties. But in earnest, if you look at the relationship, it hadn't benefited the Saints and the Pelicans. Most of it, like we've had injuries all over the place. Now they're a lot healthier this year, but over the last 4 or 5 plus years, we've always had injuries that stifle the development and growth of the team. That's why we don't like the excuse that, the injuries is why this guy fell, all this kind of stuff. We don't want to hear any of that, man, because you had year upon year to fix it, and you keep using that lame excuse every year. Everybody deal with injuries. Everybody. You can't bring that to the family base and say, well, you injured. We'll pay you. They were patient up to a fault. But when they recognize the pattern, they're not going to keep playing games. That's the point. When people see the pattern in the game, they won't participate. It won't work on them. You lose that only works if you don't know. The moment you realize the pattern, the loop, the cycle, and you realize what's going on, you gain control over it. You stop playing the game, and it don't impact you the same way. So the injuries excuse and all this other stuff won't work. The money stuff about the arena needing this going on, they had the same thing with the Superdome. Now it's the arena. They want to have a long-term lease agreement with the Smoothie King Center, which ties to renovations. They want more suites so they can bank out and make more money. But the thing is, it's a way that both parties can get what they want, but you have to win. So she's sabotaging her own team by standing in the way of a lot of what's going on and saying, I'm doing everything I can. No, you're not. No, you're not. Anyway, let me continue this because I'm not going to read all of this stuff. Just to a point, because a lot of it tie into the Saints, and this is the Pelican stuff, man. And I'm gonna cover a lot of this on the Sports Coma tomorrow on the Saturday show. Let's look at this little giblet right here. How would you answer the critics who say he's not held accountable by you and President Dennis Lausch? They're talking about Mickey Loomis and all this kind of stuff. He says, important to note that, and this is DC alluding to what he says, that both Joe Dumars and Mickey Loomis report only to me, no one else in the building. I'm in the office every day speaking with them. I am in the locker room every game, win, lose, and available to them, provide whatever support they need to be successful. It is incorrect to assume that Loomis is not held accountable. That is not true. He's very unaccountable. He's very unaccountable. He's unaccountable for his bad draft decisions, his bad personnel decisions. Them pivoting to more of a conservative approach economically was because of the stupidity that Mickey Loomis represented when he brought in Dennis Allen and allowed a blank check to be issued to Derek Carr, which turned out to be one of the worst free agent signing in Saints history. They paid him all of that money just to be a 14-13 quarterback, and then spun excuses and all this stuff. This guy's an idiot, man. But outside of that, she spins excuses. And look at this. I'm gonna talk about this on the Coma. She even says this in the next paragraph. Mickey managed the retirement of Derek Carr, saving us $30 million in cap space. Last time I checked, Gayle, Derek Carr retired on his own. He didn't manage anything. What are you talking about? He didn't manage anything. McCarr retired on his own. He didn't even have the balls to fill out his contract and honor his obligation. He basically told him he wanted his money and they bucked him. And then he's talking about he manages Derek Carr. He was responsible for the failure that was Derek Carr. These people are insane. So you go to the next one, given the historical slow starts to season and recent struggles of both clubs to make the playoffs, why should supporters have confidence in the management and the direction of the organization? She says, like I've stated, there is the reality, but that both leagues have rules to create parity and opportunity. That's a prepared statement like a dog there. Fortunately, those rules in both leagues allow for quicker turnarounds than they used to have to make the right decision. My role is to hire the best people. I can give them the resources they need to win. I have committed millions to the state, the art practice facilities, and hiring coaches and support staffs for the team. I also take great pride in not meddling. The woman actually said this, and not meddling in the day-to-day operations, but that's all she do with the Pelicans, meddle. That's why we still have Willie Green, is because of Gayle Benson.
If you're not meddling, what you doing in the building every day?
She meddling in the Pelicans affairs. That's why we still have Willie Green. It's because of her meddling. She says right here, I also take pride. She lied here. I also take great pride in not meddling in the day-to-day operations. You are meddling in, lady. We have this loser Green because of you. You won't let them get on out the way. Letting our football and basketball people do their jobs. What a joke. And yes, it is also my job to hold them accountable if we are not meeting our goals. You mean like winning? Like we're 2-10 right now? What goals you talking about? Firing them when we be 10 games under 500? Putting the team in a complete hole at the start of the season when we could have chopped this dude off 2 weeks ago, or even at an off season, and had Malone in here coaching Zion and Poole and all these guys. Away from the field and court is also my job to make sure our business operations are providing the best product for our supporters in their game day experience, which is failing. We're not going to go down to no arena in great swarms to watch no 2-12 team, and the team don't like the coach and the stars don't want to play for the same guy, and you up here holding them up. Nobody going to want to see that. We don't care about any of that. I committed $180 million to the renovation of Caesar Superdome. Guess how much you committed, taxpayer? John Q. taxpayer, Joan Q. taxpayer. You did twice as much as this. Whatever she gives, you give 2 to 3 times the money. So she's trying to flex a little bit with $180 million to the renovation of Superdome, like she doing you a favor. No, that was for her to make billions. Remember, she the second richest person in the state behind the chicken man from Raising Cane. Like she doing you a service. Those are direct improvements for our fan. That's for you to bank, because we're not going to go down there to any of that if you're not winning. As stated publicly, we signed a long-term state lease, and she gets into the business of the Smoothie King Center and the Champion Square, all of which makes no mind to none of us if the teams are losing, and they both are. While there are still some supporters facing issues at both the Caesar Superdome and Smoothie King Center, such as concessions, $20 nachos, we continue to work with ASM on correcting those so that our fans has the best possible experience. Concessions, high concessions, $20 nachos, $10 sodas, and all this crap. So, and then it goes into the this is what she really want to get to, the Smoothie King, the long-term lease agreements and renovations of the Smoothie King Center. And she says that she wants to get in the room and talk to the, here it is right here. She says, we've been working on the Superdome lease agreement for a long time. We finally got that settled. Now we're going to work on the arena, and it's going to be just the governor and I, Jeff Landry. I don't want anybody else in the room, just her and the governor and I both agree on that. When you get too many people involved, it becomes a big mess. The governor and I know what we need to do, and that's what we're going to do. No, you don't want nobody in the room because you don't want us to know what kind of deals that you hashing out with the Saints and the Pelicans with the state money. That's what it is. A lot of these agreements are sealed too, family. A lot of the money is sealed where you don't know what's going on with the Saints. That's what the seal was almost broken by the court when Gayle was sued by Tom Benson's girls. His daughters was suing her because when they got into it, he sided with Gayle and he kicked them off out of the will. He confiscated all their Mercedes Benzes and all of this. This was out in the public. I covered it on the Coma. He kicked them out of his will, took their cars from and all that. So they came back with a lawsuit to get their money back and get what they felt that they owed. So he didn't want to do nothing with him. So the lawyers threatened to break the seal on the agreements so they can get the justified money from what the Saints was getting, in terms of what they was making from the state and from other agreements. And what he did was he immediately settled with them. He did not want them to break the seal on the agreement so it become public knowledge of the actual monies, dollars between the Saints and the state. You would be appalled at how much money they get. We already know a lot of the information that they bank out. They get all the concessions. They get all the merchandising money. They pull the parking revenue, all of that. They get all of that money. Plus the towers, the Benson towers that they got it for pennies on the dollars from the state. The state was renting out suites in the Benson tower. All they had to do was renovate the tower. The state say they will rent the suites out because they have state offices in that tower, that they will rent out those suites, and they were paying double the rent with taxpayer money to the Bensons. I know all about it, bro. This is what I do. And this is what kind of arrangements they have. So it's all about a dollar. But if you want to make a dollar earnest, what you can do is you can get these effing teams to win like you're supposed to and fire these assholes that's on top of this team, sucking up money and have no imagination. So this is what she said pretty much at the end. In DC, I want you to cap, because I'm going to cover all this tomorrow. Is there anything else you would like to add? The man asked, because that's a lot of other stuff that's on here that I ain't going to cover on this show. I'm going to do it on another one. But she says, yes, let me be clear about this. The teams are not for sale. That's in capital letters. I want everybody to know the teams are not for sale. I get tired of people asking me if they're for sale. I'm going to turn 79 in January. Remember, she don't have no heirs. There is a will that she signed when and I think it was prior to Tom Benson passing away or whatever it was. It was a will that she documents a will that was set up for her with the Pelicans and the Saints. What happens to these teams when she transitions? And that's why I was telling people they don't worry about them talking about moving the team, all that, because it's already written into if something happens with her, that the teams have to be positioned into the city of New Orleans, and they got a certain amount of years affixed to it. All that documentation tied into the NFL and the NBA covered all of this stuff. She said, I turned 79 in January. I'm pretty healthy. I hear that people want to talk to me about buying a team. I'm like, well, that's a waste of my time. That's not going to happen. And people need to calm down about that about the team moving. And finally, I just want everybody to know that I'm doing everything I can other than throwing the ball and catching it. Oh, a little sarcasm there, Gayle, huh? Getting the ball in the hoop. I can't do any more than I'm doing. I'm giving the team the money. I'm doing everything I can help these guys every game, win, lose. Both teams, I'm in the locker room. When they come in from the field off the court, I'm hugging every one of them. Win, lose, I can't do no more than let them know I'm supporting them. I can't do no more than what else I can do. See what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
She hugging him. She hugging Willie Green too.
I'm just saying, fam, this is, I know some of the families like, damn, Q, this is something else. But I'm just showing, fam, people want to know, Q.
You know the crazy thing about this, Q?
Yeah, go ahead, DC. You got it, bro.
Listening to you read this article and listening to Gayle's responses, knowing the intentions of why they put this article out, right? It's doing, for intelligent people, the opposite of everything you would have wanted it to do. The only positive I could take away from this is, okay, the relocating of the team and her selling the teams and all of that. That's a lot of negative noise, as our man Mickey Loomis would say, right? So that's good. But hearing all this stuff and her to get it, she in the building every day, but she trying to assure us she not meddling in their affairs. So there was no mandate to not fire Willie Green. And she just putting all this shit on Joe. The Willie Green is still the coach because Joe Dumars apparently knew Willie Green since he was a child.
That's cold game, bro. Bro, y'all see sweet old Gayle, bro. Sweet old Gayle, right?
But she know how to move her pawns around, bro. I can't knock her. She know how to move her pawns around. Cause she hiding behind that shit. And then she talks about she can't do anything more than what she's doing, right? And my man in the comment, who that was, said $6 water bottles slips out $20 nachos, right? Well, Gayle, you're the owner. You could lower the concession prices, huh?
She passed the buck on that.
You gotta talk to a whole board of people to do that, and you're the owner. You don't. But nobody is over the team. It's just so many holes in everything she's saying that just don't make no sense.
A lot of mistruths, bro. A lot of mistruths.
Oh yeah. So I know it's like she didn't come up with these stories, but she definitely meddled in the people's responses. It probably would have been better if she'd have just let them respond and not said anything, and they'd have just said Miss Benson said this. But man, power is addictive, man, and that's one thing. People get power and they want more power. And somebody like Gayle, who has power, but she wants to keep her image. She has a certain image she wants to portray. So she's going to come across as this sweet old lady that don't have no power. I'm just here trying
DC,
DC,
you know what this reminds me of, bro?
Would have wanted, and I don't meddle in anything.
You remember when Warren Buffett was getting negative press because of his greedy demeanor and these aggressive business deals that he was doing back in the day. And so they wanted to, and the same thing happened with the Gates guy. They were getting negative press because of their investments, like Gates was doing this stuff with Monsanto that was literally tearing up the planet. And this genetically modified garbage, all this kind of stuff that he was tied to, that he was funding. So what they did with Warren Buffett and these other guys to kind of soften their image. They started having Warren Buffett seen in public eating ice cream cones. That was one of the things that they do. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was what it was, soften his image. You can Google pictures out in public with Warren Buffett eating ice cream. Just Google it. And they'll show different pictures with Warren Buffett out with ice cream cones out in the public eating it. And they figured out his teams had this whole little thing where it'll soften his image to see him as a kindly, spindly old man who eats ice cream and all this kind of stuff. They did it with Gates. They changed Gates' images, have him wearing softer colored clothes and pink and pastel colors and all this kind of stuff. Had him with vests on and all this kind of. This is how they soften their public images. But with Gayle has spent a lot of time and money softening her image. Remember, Gayle had a nasty disposition in terms of what Tom Benson's girls was saying, because they were mad at Gayle because she wasn't giving Tom Benson his medicine. They said that she was giving them wine and candy. That was in their statements about Gayle, and they were really after Gayle. Remember, they were lined up for it until Gayle got it all. Now she got it all. So the whole reality is she has this cultivated image of being a nice old grandma, but Gayle can't be too nice if she was able to beat all them girls by herself, claw to the top of it, become an interior decorator, and now she's the richest woman in the state. That's quite crafty. I would caution people to be mindful of who Gayle Benson really is, because kindly old ladies don't make it to the top of the mountain in that type of industry without having some claws and some brains and everything else. So, like I said, man, she's more than meat. She more than meets the eye, man. This whole grandma image and hugging on the players when they already got parents and all this kind of stuff, that ain't gonna cut nothing, Gayle. You can't protect the Dennis Lausches and the Mickey Loomises of the world forever. At some point, you're gonna have to get up off this team. At some point, we all gotta, sometimes, I often say, us like, man, the only thing gets some of these guys out of here is the Grim Reaper got to tap them on the shoulder and say, okay, it's time for you to take a trip, partner. That's how we got to get rid of some of these people. We can't actually look at the record and say, hey, man, you're not doing a good job. It's a reason why people are failing. You got to look at the top. You got to go through each one. And that's why I'll be telling her, listen, she needs to do a organizational audit, DC. You need to do all, and I'm not talking economics. I'm talking about like going over and grading the performances of these people. She needs to do that, but she's not doing none of that. She doesn't have an identity of her own. She doesn't. Everything she's doing is what was left to her to do. She has no identity at all. He left her these people, and she keeping these people. That's how she stands. She has no identity at all. Her tenure under the Pelicans has been a joke. She don't know what she's doing, but she doesn't hire the proper personnel. And there are organizations people you can reach out to, people you can hire or go and hire you a general manager, or you tell them what you're looking for. Or as simple as, like we talked on the previous show, family, going to San Antonio, going to OKC, going to the Boston Celtics and getting guys from their leadership group. How hard is that? We've seen that that's a tried and proven method. You go to OKC and get the assistant guy to come there and bring some of that winning thought process, or from Boston, or from, you see what I'm saying? From San Antonio, teams that have a culture of winning and responsibility, accountability. And you bring them guys, say, we want a little of that, bring it here. And you go from there. But she had, like I told y'all, she has no identity. All she do is what the ex-husband do, and that's good enough. And she don't want to shake nobody else loose, all this kind of stuff. Let Mickey Loomis sit up there and have all of this power. He don't know what he doing. Don't force him to give up a general manager position. Sit up here and cultivate and protect them. And both of the teams, blind as a bat, this lady is, both of the teams sitting up here with the almost identical record. The Saints are 2-8. At one time, they both were 2-8. The Pelicans are now 2-10. And the next two games, they're not going to beat, in my estimation. I'm not being negative, but I don't think they will beat OKC on Monday or the Golden State on Sunday. And then they got Wednesday in Denver. I don't think they beat none of them teams.
What if we all wake up tomorrow and they fire Willie Green?
DC, you might be drawing those. DC, you might be drawing on something here, bro. What made you say that, bro?
Because, man,
you got to kill the string, huh?
Well, I want to see a few of the players' interviews tonight before we get up out of here. But just looking at this article, man. This article, Gayle talked to Joe at the Blazers game. She's putting it all on him. We all watch Joe Dumars all off season. I mean, he came in here, might as well say with a goddamn axe or machete, just cutting shit up. I couldn't believe how fast that shit got pulled off them walls. All that joy and compare. I knew he was gonna come in here and change stuff, but to see him have the foresight to do something like that, to everybody that might seem small. But to us, we've been sitting here talking about these dumbass words on the wall
for years, man.
For years. And the first thing that man do when he come in here is pull that shit down.
Pull that shit off of there.
So you can't tell me a person with that type of foresight or thinking to be able to put together and build a culture within the team did not identify Willie Green as a problem.
Right.
Now, maybe the way he handled Willie Green with the media is because he saw him grow up as a child. Maybe that played into the whole thing with him saying it's not a mandate to not fire him. Like, he might not genuinely want the guy to look bad. We talk about this all the time. A lot of people seem to like Willie Green, the person. They just hate Willie Green, the coach. Right? So, seeing her drop this article and basically just put it all on Joe Dumars, put it all in his lap. Why would Ms. Benson do this if he truly does have the power now to fire him? It's just such a big emphasis on it, man. Like, it's got to be soon. It has to be soon. She said, other than the team staying here and, a few other things we pointed out, this is the most important statement, at least from the Pelicans' viewpoint of this article. She said this team is built to win now.
Joe said that too.
Now.
Yeah.
So how long, and you coming out saying this, how long can you go on not only not winning, but not even being competitive? Or they can't be that retarded to come out and say something like that and then think people won't hold them accountable to that or throw that back in their face. So the change on Willie, it's got to be soon. I say worst case scenario, the Black Friday Thanksgiving rumor may be true. Worst case scenario, or we could very well see this man gone tomorrow, or at least before they go on their road trip. So they got 2 more games at home, right? Denver and the Thunder. Maybe they feel like that's too much because maybe they feel like we was going to lose
3
anyway. Zion not coming back, and they pull the plug, Tuesday. Or they just do it tomorrow.
They got 3 games at home. It's Golden State, OKC, and Denver on Wednesday.
Yeah. I'm already in my mind. The Golden State game has already taken place, and we lost.
Okay.
So I'm saying 2 more because it's like, that's the next one up, and it's the automatic L. Unless they fire Willie Green tomorrow, then I think we got a chance to win.
I think it's just really, I think people and the family members, I'm with y'all, man. I'm just fatigued about Willie Green because you cannot rationalize this, man. It makes no sense in these professional leagues, especially the NBA. Fam, last year we watched coaches that shouldn't have been fired, that get disrespected by ownership and fired, and these guys were really good coaches. And we turn around, it's like bizarro land. We watch the Pelicans and like, man, we would love to have a Taylor Jenkins. We would love to have a Mike Malone as our coach. We would love to have these guys. And the Pelicans are sitting up here trying to give extra time for Willie Green to figure something out. And it's been 5 years, fam. We're going on 5 years.
Man, I wish I could find a situation where I could make millions of dollars, man, and people be that patient with me, bro.
Yeah, and he does.
Like, that's an amazing opportunity, man.
It's crazy, bro.
No matter what you can do, it you just locked in. It don't
I
matter
don't
how
under
you perform.
I don't get that though. I don't understand because they've given the man multiple years and opportunity. Fam, he lost his team last year. He called them soft. There are players that have quit on Willie Green right now. They're not allowing his name to be mentioned at the start of the games because they don't want him to get booed. They know this is ridiculous. Nobody does this in terms of a VP or a G. They know their lifespan is not short. It would be cut short if they would do stuff like this. This is not Joe Dumars. We've seen Joe Dumars operate in Detroit, DC. This is not Joe Dumars doing this. And you astutely mentioned that in the article. Gayle Benson literally put that shit in Joe Dumars' lap and it's his situation, it's his, and then literally just told a straight out fabricated, just draw straight fabricated garbage, straight misinformation that she doesn't meddle in the teams when we know we have documented proof that she meddled in the team. Remember when Elvin Gentry left, he talked mad smack about David Griffin, right? We knew that she was the one that forced him to keep L Gentry his first year as the VP. He did not want to keep L Gentry. She said, no, keep him for that year. She did the same damn thing, the exact same thing.
Wait, Q, that she don't meddle in the affairs, man. That was David.
That's not
Griffin.
what I seen. That's not what I seen, bro.
Came in and did the exact same thing that David Griffin did that didn't work.
That's crazy work,
these
bro.
basketball-minded people are supposed to be stupid.
Well, most believe that.
We're supposed to forget that David Griffin got let go because he wanted to fire Willie Green. As much as I don't like his bald-headed ass, he had enough sense to want to fire Willie Green, right? And rightfully so. And she got rid of his ass for that. She probably should have for a bunch of other reasons. But that was what got rid of him. So Joe Dumars sees this. He obviously sees David Griffin's mistakes because he told him dumbass words off the wall and start getting everybody the hell up out of here.
Crazy, bro.
And Willie Green is the one that survives that shit.
It's just
the guy who couldn't draw plays for Brandon Ingram in a playoff game when they playing the thing. He couldn't do anything to help him. He said Brandon Ingram has to figure it out. This fucking guy.
Right. That's
what I'm saying. Scenario, he got to figure it out in a playoff scenario.
But he's still saying that, DC. He said that he's still saying it. He's saying that recently we got to figure it out. Bro, you've been here for 5 years and you still ain't figure it out. What you talking about, bro? That's what I'm saying. It makes no sense. This and only it fits her. She's the main one. And she talking about they all accountable. Fam, in this article, this a 70-year-old, 79-year-old, or 79, I think she is. She ran like what's your boy from Jamaica, DC, from the island? What's his name? The man is the track star from down there. What's your boy name? Usain Bolt. Just it's Gayle Benson Bolt. She ran her ass on this article all around and literally ran from accountability. She ran and talking about they're accountable. She did not take any accountability of what she's doing with this team.
She ain't did nothing.
Nothing. She ain't do nothing. It's on Joe. It's on Joe. And we know she the reason why Willie Green's still here. She the reason why the team is doing mutiny on this dude right now. He's not supposed to be here. She's the reason. Joe Dumars him and Troy Weaver don't behave like that. If guys are losing, they gonna fire them guys because they know they on the time clock. Joe Dumars ain't going to do all those moves to get Derek Queen 2 picks and take bowls from all these people. He told you at the door, hey man, I'm trying to win right now. We're not trying to play this long game. If you're trying to win right now, then why is Willie Green still here? That's her. Now that she's throwing into his lap after the Portland, remember the key was she said the discussion at Portland. She said they're supposed to be talking, and then says later on they talk every day, but they talked during the Portland game. That's when they came up with a consensus that, okay, we're going to put it in your lap and see what happens. So like I said, fam, I ain't trying to throw any false hope out there to the fam because I know y'all fire Willie Green fatigued. And when it happens, people are gonna be like, man, whatever, man. That's how they're gonna be. People are gonna be like, when they finally fire Willie Green, man, whatever. That's not no news. People, they're fatigued about it. It's not even an excitement anymore because it's well overdue. People are not gonna care about it. It's like, okay, finally, man, y'all do what y'all supposed to do. Now let's see what Borrego can do with the team. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But DC, go ahead. Final thoughts before we close out, bro.
Yeah, man. Hopefully this is the last night. Wait, I want to hear Trey's interview, man. You pulled him up.
Yeah, you was talking.
Let me hear that, man. I wanted to hear that, and guess we comment on that and give them final thoughts and get on up out of here.
Okay, hold on. Let me get it set up here.
I'm curious the mindset of the players, man, because it's obvious that they don't care about Willie Green. They want him out of here, or at least don't care about him as a coach.
Wouldn't you?
Hell yeah! But I just would like to see if I can read between the lines or hear some of the questions they ask. What's his mind state with all it? Because this is just unnecessary drama, man. And it shouldn't be. And it's because Miss Benson is meddling in stuff. They're creating drama for no reason that you don't need. You have enough to deal with during the NBA season, and you got a coach that shouldn't be here, and you got to constantly deal with this game after game. The game plan ain't going to be shit. You're going out there trying to beat superstar caliber players with phenomenal strategic advantages every time you step on the court. They got two things cause you to get injured, Q. Number one is always fatigue, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. But the other thing I don't think people think about that cause you to hurt yourself, and you playing any sport, if you out there constantly thinking and trying to do too much because you feel like you're in a disadvantageous position, that definitely to cause your ass to get hurt. They got to be out there trying to be the coach and the player. While you got other teams, they just do this or do that. They know what spots they supposed to be in, and they know this shit gonna work. So I'm wondering if that has to do with the injuries too, man. Just think about that aspect of it. And I'm just curious to see, like, especially after this game, man, it's got to be wearing on them. And they probably, somebody had to ask a question about Willie Green and his job. The noise is so loud right now.
Well, he did. They asked him about that.
They asked Trey a question about
I don't think they asked Trey that question, but let's hear it. Let's see what we got to say.
Offense lately, what's just been working for you and just finding the pockets to be able to score?
Just being aggressive. Also film, a lot of film work, a lot of just knowing defenses, knowing tendencies, and also my teammates find me in transition. It's been a big thing, getting out in transition, running, and using my athleticism and my shot to score.
I don't know how many rebounds you had tonight. I think the past couple of games you kind of rebounded around and winning, so you kind of talked about that. Is that something that you really put an emphasis on?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like I had more rebounds than what was up there. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to complain too much about it. But, yeah, I think the biggest thing is just I know we haven't been a great rebounding team, so just getting back in there and trying to get into the fight.
Here's 8 steals tonight. What's it been like just watching his growth as he's moving to that starting lineup, just finding his way?
No, it's great. I mean, I didn't know he had 8 steals. That's a lot, especially for anybody, not even just a rookie. I think that's one of the things that, as a rookie, people are going to try to target you. And if you, set the president earlier and you're not going for it, then they'll stop going at you. So it was great that he's locking in with him.
Jeremiah's about to play his favorite player on Sunday. Who was your favorite player growing up, and what was it like the first time you were against him?
My favorite player was Kobe, so I'll give you my second favorite player, but it's tough. It's a tie between Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Those are my 2 favorite players. Like, I don't get starstruck by people, but when we play Brooklyn at home, that first time, it was really crazy seeing KD play. Like we were just doing skill work out there. So, no, it's always really cool for guys to realize, it's okay to, see your favorite player and be a little starstruck. Obviously, you still go at them, but enjoy the moment. Like you worked for this your entire life, and now you're here playing against these guys that you looked up to is really special.
How long did it take for you to really like lock in?
What do you mean exactly?
Like, you start, oh snap, they're Kevin Durant, and then you're like, okay.
I mean, I played 15 minutes maybe, so it's like it didn't take much. It was probably like a minute or so, then I had to log back into my 15 minutes.
I guess what's the challenge been with Nosy and JP just getting those consistent offensive possessions where y'all can get good shots and not kind of fall into those lows?
I mean, it's tough. I mean, any team loser and one of the top three guys, it's gonna be tough to really make up for that, especially with how much attention Z brings to the team on the court. So, hopefully have him back soon. But we also have to figure out how to play without them because there's many teams that lose their guys and they still find ways to win. So that's on us as well.
With your recent, 41 and then 35 tonight, is that something that you're coming to expect us to do more of, or is it lineup related where you just feel like right now you're more relied upon to score?
I mean, I can score whoever's on the court. I think it's also just game by game basis, figuring out what the game needs. Obviously, I have to be aggressive, especially right now. And even when guys do come back, I'm still going to continue to be aggressive. That's something that I've worked for, and I'm not going to just let that just dial down because there's other people on the court.
So how do y'all handle like the outside noise? Just a lot of outside noise. How do y'all kind of handle that?
What else I know?
I mean, just like talk about Willie and.
I haven't heard anything actually. Anybody else?
Yeah, along the same topic. Whether you hear anything or not, you start, whatever the record is now. Do you think guys are wondering? I mean, are you wondering how stable the situation is?
We just got to play the game, no matter who is out there on the floor, no matter who's coaching, no matter who is in the stands. We're the ones out there on the court. We're the ones that produce. Professionals, at the end of the day, this is our job. If you don't show up and do your job, and that's on you. So that's us. We have to go out there and do our jobs, play hard, play defense, run the ball, start third quarter as well, all that. So that's us. That's us on the court.
Do you think somewhat increasing availability of personnel has anything to do with how competitive the team has been?
I mean, that's been the story of the past 5 years. So it's not really like something we can really make an excuse for. It's also the NBA. It's an 82-game season. No team's going to be fully healthy the entire time. So that's on us to figure that out.
All right. So, I mean, DC, go ahead, comment, bro.
That's why you get the big bucks, Q. That is a political speak.
Bro,
But my man Hoffa hit it on the nose. It was two. He said, no matter who's coaching, we got to go out there and handle our business. And when you're not handling business, that's on you. It's like, oh shit. So he telling you, but his eyes, when they asked him about the outside noise, he did that weird ass shit with his eyes, like you you're lying. But it's like, dude, I can't say that. I can't just come out and say that, but you know what it is. So I get it. I get it.
Yeah, read between the lines sort of thing. But yeah, this is the reporter asked him the outside noise. I don't consider. Yeah, and this is the thing, fam. Because they like to interchange the term, that
outside no more, man. It's inside.
It's outside. That's a good point, DC. But this is the thing I'm mentioning about the noise thing. An attempt to try to disparage the truth of what's going on with the team. There is supposed to be they call it noise. I wouldn't even call it noise because that's almost disrespectful to the family base because they're upset that the team is underperforming woefully. The noise outside. There's no noise. You're 2-8. You're 2-10, or whatever it is. I don't know. They're about to be. I don't know what the hell this team is. 2-10. You're 2-10. What do you mean noise? There's no noise. That's truth out there. Y'all stink. Y'all are underperforming. This sort of thing. And like I said, man, the media people, we're watching that, man. Y'all see in live how this shit happened. You have to comply. You have to You have to apply and be soft. And Stacey, right? These were chump ass questions. A lot of these was punk ass questions. Did Kevin Durant question about him and all this? Who cares about that, bro? Who cares about him being?
The post game, they be on the
cares?
same type of shit. Q on their little post game show, man. They be talking like we won the fucking game.
Yeah, but that's fake. That's why them fucking shows don't be getting no views, man, because people don't want to see that old commercial lies. That's why the team produces these shows in an attempt to produce good press. So no matter win, lose, or draw, they're never gonna come out and say the complete truth about what's going on with the team, because number one, they're invested and paid for by the team. So they're going to shield for the team regardless, win, lose, or draw. They can lose by 40 points. They're still going to shield for the team. They collecting their money from the team. So they can't smack their hand. But from us,
what about Memphis? And they was asking Ja them goddamn questions and he answered them too.
But that's a different dude.
Why other teams? What I'm saying, why other teams have media where they can just ask them? It's not a crazy question. Like, why they just
because
can't ask real shit.
I mean, DC, you talking about the same team that turns off its comment sections when the Pelicans were getting hammered and they were getting blown out. The Pelicans people literally turned off their comment sections because people filled the chats with Fire Willie Green. So instead of hearing you, they just turned the chat off. So that tell you everything you know. Well, I just read words directly from the ownership, DC, that tell you that she's accountable when she just created a bunch of mistruths about her role and what's going on with the team currently. The team she threw Joe Dumars under the bus. It's not Joe Dumars' fault. He just got here 5-6+ months ago. He made trades and moves. The reason why Willie Green is here, and Joe Dumars knows Willie Green. That's why he needs to fire him. He knows Willie Green from a child. He been know Willie Green is a good dude, but Willie Green is not a good coach. They all know that. And the only reason why he still got a job here is because of her. If she would have let David Griffin fire him last year and fire both David Griffin and Willie Green, we would be starting on a clean floor right now. She's responsible for all this madness and moonwalked her ass about it and put it on Joe. So, like I said, man, we know there's no such thing as noise when you 2-10. There's no such thing when you're 2-10. That's truth out there. The family base, the support base is telling the truth. They are saying this team is underperforming, and this is a shame before the base. So for you to throw out, how you deal about the noise out there? What the fuck you mean the noise out there? These people out here have a right to be mad about what's going on with the team. This nigga called it a noise. I'm kind of upset. I'm upset by that little shilling he did there. That's not noise, man. Stop. Be honest and tell the truth. You have to tuck your balls just to ask people questions. Just ask some good questions. Ask good questions and keep it real. Keep it real. The team lost again by 14 points. They're 2-10. We're 2-10. In a couple of days, we're gonna be 2-12. In a few days after that, they're gonna be 2-13. They got a coach that's lost half the team. They got guys rumored that doesn't want to play. They have nothing to do with injuries. Some of the better players, the guys, DC, that's making $30 million a season, DC, that are rumored to be injured, but on the slick, they don't want to play for this guy. You got guys that don't like him. He lost half the team, and they still holding on to the guy. But that's noise. But nothing the team do is wrong. Everything the team do is right. So you can't approach them like, listen, man, y'all pissing these people off out here. These are the people giving you your money. So it's nothing in respect of how what the truth is in comparison or in dealing with you. Because there would be no team without you, fam. There would be no team without you. Your support, what you do, keep them alive. So for them to play it like we're gonna protect them and not you and gear to you is some BS. Even the guy who asked him the questions, he didn't say it was him, even though he writes articles critiquing the Saints. But he threw it all on the family base, like, well, this ain't all on me. This is what the people writing me in letters to ask you. So it's all thrown on you. So, I just don't like the sucker shit. I just really do think that it's an era where, we need to keep it real and just shame the devil. We need to be just telling the truth about all this stuff. And I don't like the fact that they got reporters sitting up here talking about it's noise outside when the team sitting up here 2-10. That's crazy work to me, man, for a clown to even sit up there and say that type of shit. That's crazy work to me, man. Crazy work. Anyway, DC, you got it, bro. Before we leave, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, it is what it is. Q, excellent points, man. I think you pretty much nailed it. Some of the stuff you saying, it was right on the tip of my tongue. But well, I guess we just gonna have to see tomorrow and Sunday, man. If nothing happens tomorrow, well, we know what's gonna happen Sunday. It's just gonna be more of the same until they eventually, get this right or put things on track. And like you said, the more time it takes, it's like the less people will care. Because let's say they do go on this, and I saw somebody in the chat putting the Pels gonna be 2-20. Well, at this point, if they're 2-20, and then you decide to fire Willie Green, like it's a lost season. There's no way, there ain't no coming back from that. It'll have to at least be 5-20 if you think you can make a run at it just to get in the goddamn plan. But 2-20, you might as well just wrap it up. Whatever pick you get, it is going to the other team, and you ain't gonna have shit to show for it. So, just looking forward, man. Dropping this article, I think, is huge for the Pels. The Saints, I think a lot is still to be determined. Tyler Shuck played awesome, so if he continues to put stretches together like that, then Kellen Moore will look like some type of genius quarterback whisperer. Well, no. But the Pelicans right now, man, things are bleak, and they will stay bleak with Willie Green as the coach. So all the evaluating, and they want to keep having these secret discussions and shit. It's almost like somebody who on a job, and you know how they got these little systems set up. When you're on a job, you get a warning, a verbal warning, and a written warning, and then you get your first write up, and then you get suspended for a game, and then you get fired. So this is how they doing their evaluations, man. It's almost similar to how they do their goddamn injuries. You know what they put the shit out about Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole is progressing properly, and he'll be reevaluated in a week. That's the update on the fact. Zion he's doing great, and he's accelerating to on-court activities. He'll be reevaluated in a week. It's like, goddamn. And they're doing the same goddamn bullshit with the coach, man. So, as things change, some things just seem to stay the same.
Yeah, it's fatigue, bro. I think, like I said earlier, man, I think a lot of the faithful are fatigued with the stupidity, man, because this is not how it's supposed to work in the NBA when guys underperform. And this man was given years, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 years. Willie Green was given, and all he did was turn in mediocre results. This team is supposed to be a team competing for the playoffs and having deep playoff runs, and we have not experienced that. All we've experienced was a ton of excuses, and we rewarded these people. We giving them money, and we're done with that. Whatever you're saying is not going to work. And her coming out with this interview at this time frame is the weirdness of it. Like it happened on the Friday when all of a sudden she did it to kind of clear her hands of it, because she taking a lot of negative press about how she is, and she can't stand it. So she's going to slide it off on Joe Dumars. That's what this article for, because they could have kept just sitting up here being quiet. But like people been hitting on it and saying the same thing. She's your responsible party. She's the one responsible for keeping a losing coach and keeping festering this nasty atmosphere that we have with the team, with her meddling. Even though she lied in the article, says she's not. We know she is. But in the end, man, we're just fatigued about all this, man. And whatever needs to happen as soon as possible, so we can get this guy out of here. Nothing's sustainable, or whatever you want to call it, or good, or consistent is going to happen as long as Willie Green is here. It's just not going to happen. He has to go for everything to change. He has to go. He has to leave. He has to go. Whether he resigns or get fired, he has to get out of here, and he has to get out of here as soon as possible. When that happens, I have absolutely no idea, fam. But they cannot keep allowing the team to lose games and get to the point where they're 10 games under 500. When we all know, we talked about it, teams that started like from a league, a historical standpoint, we're already on the wrong side of history. If you look it up, you can see that what was it, 0-6 or something to that degree? What was the record when you start off the season at a certain milestone?
I think it was 0-6.
0-6, DC. No 0-6 team in the history of the NBA actually went on to making it to get to the playoffs.
How many teams have started 0-6 in the playoff era? I wonder though. I mean, the play-in era.
I don't know about the play-in. I think that stat included the play-in ever, if I'm not mistaken. But it mentioned playoffs, so you might have something with the play-in. So I don't know. But still,
stats like that, man. I mean, we've always seen them, be broken. But a Willie Green led team, nobody ain't banking on that shit.
But that's what I'm saying, though.
If you get rid of Willie Green, Zion come back, Poole come back, and you got James Borrego, and he finds a way to implement the rookies along with the starters, and they find something, some type of synergy, man, and you get some form of a team back. I mean,
you can compete in the play.
I think it could work.
Well, I mean,
the ceiling is like making the playoffs, and the top of the ceiling is like making the playoffs and making it out of the first round. But I think if they just made it, even that would be something, but it still wouldn't be enough when you look at that pick they gave up. You almost got to make it to the playoffs and not be a playing team, because if Atlanta not getting the 17th pick or something like that, that trade, unless Derek Queen becomes goddamn multi-time All-Star, borderline Hall of Famer, that trade it looks crazy.
Yeah, I don't know, DC.
I do pick regardless of where it's at. Because
I'm not discounting what you're saying, bro. I'm just saying that whatever they're gonna do to have success, they gotta move. They gotta move as soon as possible. They got it because I, at least like we did the report, I did a show and I think it was 10 reasons why James Borrego helps the Pelicans instantly, and I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, but if y'all didn't get the chance to see that, you can look in the PPR reports and you'll see it. 10 really good reasons, and one of the 10 I gave was the fact that when Borrego comes, he will give the Pelicans an identity. They'll actually have an identity to play behind. He'll have them moving the ball because his offense, his mindset is predicated on ball movement and player movement. So he'll have them moving. He'll have them, passing the ball, and he'll give them structure. That's something that Willie Green has not done here. They don't have an offense or a defensive philosophy. And also James Borrego is big on communication. He's big on, which the Pelicans are poor on. A lot of the defensive rotations are poorish. They don't communicate well. They switch into bad matchups. Willie Green wants to employ this weird switch off philosophy, but you can't switch off. You don't want to switch into a mismatch that favors your opponent. You don't want Jose Alvarado switching out on a center, like we seen in the Clipper game when he switched out and had what's his name, Zubac. He was guarding Zubac in the post. Who? Why would you even? Never mind. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, that Borrego will have them structured up where you'll see them at least have an identity to play behind, because we don't have that. So that's at the very least would be a positive to see, because we know they got the talent. They just don't have any type of system they confident in they can use. And I know also Borrego will do better with these rotations. He has a better feel for the game, a better harmony, and a feel for what's going on in the game. He's better. He's a better communicator to the players, and he's well liked and respected. How many times y'all seen Zion Williamson talking to Borrego? or other established people talking to James Borrego. And another reason is he also has the talent to run the type of system he had. When he was in Charlotte, that team, he had a few people here or there, but that team wasn't all that. Look what he has here with Trey and all these other players, Zion, Jordan Poole, Jeremiah Fears, Derek Queen. He has a lot of talent to work with here, more talent than he's ever seen. So to have James Borrego in the position where he's the coach, that's some of the things why I said I think the Pelicans could have success, but it's asking a lot for a coach to take over and you 10 games under 500. And you say, okay, now it's your team, get us productive again. So, I mean, like I said, man, waiting this long is not smart. It's not smart. And for her to come out with this article to absolve herself of the responsibility of her creating a situation with the Pelicans is disingenuous. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, with that being said, DC, I said a lot, bro. You want to add to that or you good?
You got it, man. Go Pels. See y'all back Sunday. Hopefully something has changed.
Seriously, bro. I mean, I'm just so fatigued with the whole Willie Green thing.
They might get a new ball boy or something and think it bring good luck.
Oh, man. But anyway, with that being said, listen, we're going to get on up out of here, man. Y'all do us a service, man. Please feel free to hit the like button. If you're listening via X and Instagram, hit the like button and the share button, man. Hit the retweet on X. Retweet this, man. Get the message out. We are fatigued as a nation, man, but still in all, we here representing, man. That's all I can say. So with that being said, y'all check out the links in the description section. Y'all hit that like button and the share button, man. Put PPR out there and let's spread this message. And we're going to holler at y'all on the next stream. Much love, peace, and go Pels.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. Going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and do best, show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, Big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the refs just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never. Say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican.
Hey, New Orleans! Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with thewhodatdaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit thewhodatdaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation. Stay in the NO, you stay in the know.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.